Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode on the Orangebloods Texas Football Channel. I'm Geoff Ketchum, joined by Jason Suchomel, Alex Dunlap. It's prediction time for TCU. Make sure you like the video if we give you a prediction that you like. If you hate it, don't hate the video, but let us know in the comments section. What are your thoughts going into this TCU game? What is your prediction? Is Texas going to cover? But like I always say, like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, get the notifications for all the videos that we put out. Fellas, we just got finished recording the Orangebloods modcast, which everybody watching this video, you may want to make sure you want to check out. It was an entertaining preview, I think, of what's ahead as far as the TCU game is concerned. My anticipation is that we're all going to pick Texas, but that we expect it to be a lot closer than last weekend's game against Texas Tech, which was a complete blowout. Alex, I'll start with you. I know probably in the last 20 minutes or less, 20 seconds, you hadn't thought about a score yet. What's your gut tell you about the pace that leads you into the score? Like, what kind of game are we getting?
I think a lot of it will be weather dependent, like we talked about on the podcast. I think that if there is weather, I think that slightly benefits Texas just because of what it would do to the TCU passing game and Quentin Johnston, et cetera. I don't think that Xavier Worthy, with the way that he's used all around the formation, would be as hindered, in this sort of situation. Certainly Jordan Whittington is a guy you can use in all kinds of specialized roles near to the line of scrimmage. If you're having trouble with the downfield passing game, Zach Evans on the TCU side is clearly an effective counterbalance to what Texas has in Bijan Robinson. So I don't think that necessarily TCU will be hurting with their run game if there is weather. If there's not weather here in this, let me just look and see. So Texas is 5.5-point favorites. The total in this game is now sitting at 65.5. If we just look at the betting patterns via Sports Insights, just across the books, we have 96% of the tickets on Texas.
Wow.
We have 85% of the money on Texas. So, the public's on Texas.
What's the point total again?
The total is 65.5. So we have 96% of the tickets on Texas minus 5.5.
They think it's going to be a 30. Vegas is telling us 35-30, right?
Something along. Yeah, exactly. Something along those lines. Exactly. Yeah. Those are the implied odds. As far as the over-under, we have 50% of the tickets on the over, only 44% of the money. So maybe a slight, money, a slight money indicator there towards the under in this one. I think that probably has to do with the possibility of weather. I don't know that I'm that concerned. I think that, Kretsch, you're right. The implied deal is probably about 35-30. I think that it stays relatively close, but I do think Texas covers. I'm going to say this game goes Texas 42, TCU 31, 42-31.
Interesting. Jason, what you got?
Alex will like this, but in Casey Thompson, I trust. I just think this is a different team with Casey Thompson. He looks incredibly comfortable, poised, relaxed back there. He's making it look easy. And sometimes when Hudson Card was in there and it was a small sample, it just looks hard, difficult to get down the field and string drives together. Casey Thompson's making it look easy. I think it continues this week. TCU will be a better test, of course. As Alex said, I think weather could be the great equalizer in this one. I've been thinking 34-27, 34-30. I'm going to go with a weird number. I'm going Texas 34, TCU 29, which I had these numbers in my head before Alex mentioned the Vegas pick or Vegas number. So I'm kind of right in line with what they've got it pegged at. I'm going 34-29. Texas gets the win.
And if you watch the modcast video and you saw that and now you're watching the predictions, you probably know that I have an itch that this might be a little bit of a couple of race cars going at it offensively. That I think Texas offensively matches up really well with TCU, really well. I think it'll almost be disappointing for me if Texas doesn't break 40 this weekend, because TCU looks like an opponent that's ripe. I don't want to say they're tailor-made, but if it wasn't on the road, potentially in the rain, I might even be thinking a bigger number. But I think Texas is going to score some points. I think TCU is going to score some points. And I think it comes, and I like the over in this game as it currently stands, a 65-point total. Maybe you don't play it because my prediction's not I'm not going way past that, but the number in my head was 41-31, very similar to Alex's prediction, off by a point. He went 42-31. I have 41-31 in my head. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think the margin of victory will probably, if last week the final margin, Jason, flattered Texas Tech a little bit, right? I mean, it could have been 100-30. If I told you in the second quarter, Texas is going to score 95 points today, you'd have been like, I can see it. And by the end of it, it was like, oh, they only won that game by 5 touchdowns. It felt more one-sided than that. I am picking Texas to cover, cringingly, I have to admit, but I think the game's going to play close. And I just think at the end of the game, the class of this Texas offense will allow it to separate from a TCU offense that probably is going to find it. They're not quite as good as that Texas offense, and they're probably playing a slightly tougher opponent. Texas's defense is better than TCU's defense. What that means in terms of like how many points each will give up. Jason, are they like right next to each other in the standings? Do you remember defensively?
Yeah, it's pretty much Texas is one notch above TCU. It's like 7th and 8th, 8th and 9th in run defense, pass defense, efficiency, most of those, yeah.
The numbers would tell you that I'm giving a little bit of hyperbole and giving Texas's defense matched up with TCU's defense a big advantage. But I think it is, God, they got pushed around by SMU last week. And with all due respect to TCU, Texas's defense has been better than giving up 42 to SMU and really getting pushed around in the process. So 41-31, 42-31, and 34-29.
Yep. Good memory.
Thankfully, none of us were. I was worried. The thing that I was expecting was I thought if you guys went first and had TCU covering, I was going to make my score smaller. That way we would all have TCU covering, which means obviously Texas would cover like last week. But once Alex gave his score, I was like, well, hell, I might as well give my score now. And that we all differed. So 2 of us cover, 1 no cover means we're kind of out of the jinx, I think. But I was going to play into it.
Two overs and 1 under too.
Yeah, I was going to play into just going along with the crowd in the name of setting up the jinx, reverse jinx, that Alex knows my powers in fantasy football are 0-2 strong in. Okay. I got to do it to McComas once this season just to remind him of.
Not to me.
Not to you.
I don't even want you mentioning reverse jinxes.
I'm going to make a post on Orangebloods where I declare that McComas has the best team in our league. And it will guarantee that his team crashes into an island like an airplane. All right, for myself and Jason Suchomel and Alex Dunlap, like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, get all that notification stuff. We appreciate you for watching the video. We will have the post-game show tomorrow, myself and Anwar Richardson breaking down. He'll be in Fort Worth, live coverage wall-to-wall after the game is over with for a couple of hours. We'll be your home on YouTube for breakdown coverage. Go to Orangebloods for all the online stuff. We will have a special promo next week as a tease. Just if you're not signed up and it's Texas OU week and there's no better week to sign up, we will on Monday, maybe even Saturday after the TCU game. That's how I'll set it up. Texas beats TCU. Come to the post-game show. We'll have a brand new free trial for you guys that I think can lure you in and make you the crack whores we want you to be. For all of us at orangebloods.com, can't wait to have you crack whores with us. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Later.